we just had a very long rotation outside of our lane. Because of that, we were missing some farm or some waves. And since we were missing the waves, we actually were falling behind. We're going to use our 3, use our 2. Still is able to get the pick onto 1. We're going to, oh, Mercury gets a stun onto 2. We get the stun, still cleans up. Oh my goodness. That was just absolutely beautiful. Stun after cleanup after cleanup. What a do, skibbity boo, it's your boy SeanyB Gaming, and today we have a viewer request to play Guan Yu solo. If you are new to the channel, I upload 6 to 7 times a week. I add some commentary to a game that I've already played with the intention of seeing what went right and what went wrong, and hopefully there's something that we can learn together. If you are a returning viewer to the channel, Guan Yu is one of the first characters that you unlock, and Guan Yu kinda smacks. He does relevant base damage, so as long as you build him a little bit tanky, you should be able to deal some damage to some squishies. Fun fact about this game, everyone that I am playing with is from the Discord server. It is a full party of 5. If you would ever like to play or have Smite questions, please feel free to join the Discord server. It's the best place to reach out to me and ask Smite questions, and there's a lot of good people in there willing to help each other out. So let's go ahead and jump into Guan Yu's abilities. I think we should start with Guan Yu's passive because it has the ability to boost his first 3 abilities. Every time Guan Yu takes or deals damage, he's going to gain a stack. At max stacks, Guan Yu's abilities are going to be boosted. If Guan Yu has not taken or dealt damage in the last 5 seconds, the stacks are going to reset. So at 20 stacks, you're going to be able to give your 1, 2, and 3 an additional effect, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Guan Yu's 1 is his healing. He's going to heal allies around him and himself. Any ally god that is healed is going to reduce the cooldowns of his other abilities by 2 seconds. Guan Yu's 2, Guan Yu is going to dash forward. While he dashes forward, he's immune to roots, cripples, and knockups. Enemies that are hit by him are going to be slowed. And Guan Yu is going to reduce his cooldowns of his other abilities by 2 seconds for each god hit. The boosted slow is 40% and the regular slow is 20%. Guan Yu's 3 is his Talon Assault. He's going to deal damage every 0.3 seconds for 3 seconds, so he's going to deal damage 10 times. Each hit is going to steal protections away from the enemy and give them to Guan Yu. Guan Yu is immune to knockbacks for the duration of this ability. So at level 1, the damage per hit is 15 times 10 is 150, and at level 5 it is 55. So 55 times 10 is going to be 550. The protection duration is 5 seconds. The base protection stolen at level 1 is going to be 2, at level 5 is going to be 10, and you can have up to 3 stacks of protection stolen. The boosted protection stolen at level 1 is going to be 3, and at level 5 is going to be 15. Right here, we are using our 3 onto this tier. He's very weak. We dash through him. We get him with a basic. Easy peasy. So, Guan Yu's ultimate. Guan Yu mounts his warhorse and charges for 4 seconds. While mounted, he can steer, and he's immune to crowd control effects. So, when you ult with Guan Yu, you're going to be CC immune. Enemies hit are going to be damaged and slowed. Each hit is going to increase the amount of damage dealt to that target by 20%. And then the final hit on the ultimate is going to stun. So the slow is 25% for 2 seconds. The boosted CC is a 40% slow and a 2-second stun. The normal stun is going to be 1.5 seconds. The damage escalation is 20 per hit. So with Guan Yu, you want to get in there and you want to tussle. You want to take or give 20 forms of damage, so that way you can get your passive fully stacked. Once you do that, you just want to hit the enemy with some abilities and keep high pressure onto them. In terms of the leveling ability, we're going to put a point into our 3. At level 2, we're going to put a point into our 2. And then we have an option at level 3. I do not think that Guan Yu's heal is very strong. I think it just kind of consumes your mana and gives you about 50 health per heal at level 1. It's not fantastic. So what I like to do is put a level 3 point into my 3, and then a level 4 point into my 2. Right here, I tell my jungler that I just hit my ultimate. The enemy solo laner does not have their ultimate, and now would be a great time to gank. At some point, we are going to want to put a point into our heal. We're probably going to do that at level 6 here, just so we have it. If our jungler comes by, we can pop our heal on them and reduce our cooldowns. But other than that, we're really going to want to be maxing out our 3 and our 2, putting a point into our ultimate whenever we can, and then worrying about our heal last. So right here, we are very weak. We're just kind of holding lane, trying to exist, so that way we get some XP. We're going to go ahead and ult. We know that Scylla is nearby. We get the stun. He's going to leap straight up and straight back down. Uses one of the dash. Scylla is here. He does not expect the Scylla. We get the heal onto the Scylla. That's going to reduce our cooldowns. We dash through him. That's also going to reduce our cooldowns. I have faith that Scylla can get it, so I pull back, and Scylla is able to get the pick onto the tier. Great rotation from our mid laner right there. So as a solo laner, what are we looking to do this game? As a solo laner, I think your primary concern is existing in your lane and getting farm. If you can control your lane, that is awesome, but simply existing and getting farm is kind of your main goal. If you can establish lane dominance, you maybe want to proxy a wave between the tier 1 and tier 2 tower, and then make a rotation mid if you see a fight is about to brew. Our second responsibility is going to be getting the Totem of Q. The Totem of Q is going to give all of our allies some gold, and it's also going to give them some MP5. So imagine that the Totem of Q is like popping a blue mana potion for everyone on your team. It's not worth dying for, but it's definitely worth contesting. There's been multiple times where I'm a hunter over in dual lane and I feel like I'm about to run out of mana, then my jungler is able to hit the Totem of Q, and then all of a sudden I have more mana than I can handle. In terms of the build, we're going to be going with Warrior's Blessing, just kind of the classic start for solo lane. And then we're going to be going into Soul Eater. Once Soul Eater is evolved, it's going to give us 35 power, 15% lifesteal, 10% physical penetration, 10% cooldown reduction, and whenever we damage an enemy with an ability, we're going to heal for 20% of the damage dealt. So just the stats, power, lifesteal, penetration, and cooldown reduction all on one item. Pretty nasty item, even though I don't think that Guan Yu necessarily needs the lifesteal, because he has his 3 and he's kind of just a tanky boy. All the other stats make this item worth it. So right here, we're just going to work on the wave, hit him with our 3, he dashes through. So while we are using our 2 or our 3, Tyr can't actually push us with his dash, or knock us up with his blue dash. So we have high pressure. There is a wave. We might hang out for the wave and then try to rotate. Right now we have super high pressure. Here comes our Tsukiyomi. We're just going to go ahead and ult out of this. We don't want to fight into Tsukiyomi. The Tsukiyomi is still super strong. And right now all we really have is Soul Eater. We don't even have our boots fully online. We'd be down for the 2v1s a little bit later in the game, but right now it's just a little bit too early. So we're just going to use our ult to get away. After going into Soul Eater, we're going to want to go into Warrior Tabi. I don't think Guan excels from Ninja Tabi all that well, although Guan does have an attack chain. It is a single attack for 1 damage, a single attack for 1 damage, an AoE attack for less than 1 damage, and then a final target hit or final hit that's a single hit that deals more than 1 damage. So he does have a bit of an attack chain. You're really worried about that 3rd attack, so that way you can get a cleave off. Mercury jumps in, we're going to use our 3 to try to get some damage onto this Tsukiyomi. We're going to stick to our Mercury. Since we are the full group of 5, I definitely feel more adventurous in trying to save my teammates, knowing that I have comms with everyone. It looks like Mercury was able to get out. We used our heal to avoid some of that Tsukiyomi damage. Mercury's able to use his ultimate. He looks like he's able to get out. We're going to go ahead and clean up these melee minions that followed us into the jungle. And then we're going to make our way to our blue buff. Mercury's trying to hit it. He doesn't have the health, so I'm going to rotate over and tank it for him. Our teleport is also coming back online, so we might back after this blue buff, pick up our boots, and then go back to lane. Once we have our boots, we're going to get a pretty large power spike of 40 power. Right here, bit of a misplay, so you can actually teleport and then buy your wards. The fact that I bought my wards before teleporting means that there was about 2 seconds where I was doing nothing, and I could have saved that time to get to lane a little bit quicker. We're going to go ahead and clear this minion wave. The enemy blue buff might be up, so that might be worth checking. We have maxed out our 3. There's tier. We're going to go ahead and use our 3 on him, just get some free poke. He dashes through, but there's no knock up or knock back, which kind of makes Guan a pretty good counter for tier. If he can't push me, I feel like that ruins tier's kit and what he's trying to do in the game. We see that the enemy is near the enemy red buff. We tell Scylla, go in, we're right behind you. Scylla goes in, gets the root, gets the crush, and is able to get the pick. We get the assist. There's a team fight in mid. We're going to go ahead and ult. That is the... oh my goodness. Doesn't even matter who is there. Mercury's going to clean that up. We're going to go ahead and push to this tower. So at this point, it's like we have a grouping of 4. Nobody's in mid. Left is kind of pushed up. It's time to make a play for Gold Fury. Scotty's nearby, but I don't think she's going to make the rotation towards the Gold Fury, so I feel like this Gold Fury is going to be pretty safe. So we do have tier pushing up in our right lane. While we're not there, our lane is open for grabs. We don't want to stay out of our lane too long, or else tier will be able to get a free tower. Whenever a tower goes down on the map, the enemy team or your team is going to get gold based on the tower. The tier 1 power is not worth as much as the tier 2, and the tier 3, or I guess the Phoenix, I think you get more gold for destroying a Phoenix than you do for a tier 2 tower, but for all the towers you definitely get some gold. After going into the Soul Eater, we're going to be going into Void Shield. Void Shield is going to give us 20 power. It's going to give us 60 physical protections, which is great for our matchup against tier. They also have 3 physical characters on their team. Void Shield is also going to give us 150 health, and whenever we are within 55 units of an enemy, we're going to reduce their physical protections by 15%, and this applies for everybody on my team. So if I'm standing near the tier and our Mercury comes by, Mercury is going to be dealing damage to that tier as if he had 15% less physical protections, and it is just physical protections, so if Scylla comes along and does some damage, it doesn't really help too much. We're gonna chase hard. Oh no, we're gonna die here. We get body blocked by a minion, and we are dead. Completely preventable death. Tier was just very weak, so we went super hard for it, and we even had 2 people there. So we definitely could have backed out, let one of our teammates get the aggro from the tower instead of us. So a bit of a misplay there, but we're still doing pretty well as our job as a solo laner. The Pyromancer looks like it's open right now. I'm not sure if our team's going to go for it though.
They were warned.
Since Guan Yu has a dash, he's actually pretty mobile. So I don't think you necessarily need protections as a first item. In some matchups, it's definitely beneficial. If you're going against a magical solo laner, picking up Runic Shield before Soul Eater I think is a pretty viable thing to do. However, if I'm going against a physical solo laner, I generally like to pick up my Soul Eater first. We're going to go ahead and ult here, create some separation. Get the stun onto the Cthulhu, dash through him, that's going to apply slow, we get stunned by the Tsukuyomi. We've created enough space, we have our team closing down onto somebody while we're spacing 2 people away from the team fight. We're going to go ahead and use our 3 onto this Merlin, switch our attention to the Cthulhu. Cthulhu's going to dash. We're kind of sticking to the Cthulhu, getting some good damage. He's absolute, I hope he doesn't get away. Scotty's able to get the pick. We're trying to focus onto this Merlin. This Merlin's doing great damage to our team, so we gotta try to get him out of the team fight. Scotty's dog's here, we're gonna dash away. We have our heal, we're gonna go ahead and heal that. If we would have waited just a second, we could have gotten Mercury in that heal and reduced our cooldowns by 2 seconds. Scotty's in mid, we're gonna see if there's anything we can do. She uses her ice. Mercury's going in, so I'm like, alright, I gotta go in with him. We use our 3, and we're able to get the pick. Even if it looks like a bad fight, sometimes it's worth just trusting your teammate and going in. I think that Mercury would have gone down without us. Still is able to clean up the Tsukiyomi. We're gonna go ahead and hit this red buff since we're here. And we have enough money for Void Shield. So now that we have Void Shield online, we can be less concerned about the damage coming from Tyr, Scotty, and Tsukiyomi. Essentially, if we see one of the physical characters on the enemy team, we're going to want to push them over the magical people. And the reason being is that we have physical protections, so they're going to do less damage to us. However, if we see a weak Merlin, like absolutely go for the weak Merlin. It's just kind of a general rule. You want to fight into the people that you have defenses for. Very poor lane management right there. We use our 3 on the archers, and it looks like we're just going to rotate out, leaving the melee minions. That's a bit silly. So right now, I would say we are a little under leveled for where we should be in the game. We just had a very long rotation outside of our lane. Because of that, we were missing some farm, or some waves. And since we were missing the waves, we actually were falling behind. We're going to use our 3, use our 2. Still is able to get the pick onto 1. We're going to, oh, Mercury gets a stun onto 2. We get the stun, still cleans up. Oh my goodness. That was just absolutely beautiful. Stun after cleanup after cleanup. We're going to go ahead and stick to this Cthulhu. Our team is pushing the tower. Cthulhu ults, we should be able to get him here. He used his dash aggressively and ulted while he was in 4 people, instead of saving his ultimate for the Phoenix line for a defense. We're going to go ahead and start working on the tower. Looks like our team might need our help, not at all, so we're going to use our 1 on 3 people, which is going to reduce our cooldown on all of our abilities by 6 seconds. Which is pretty nutty in a team fight. I could be wrong, it could be just 2 seconds cap. So if you hit 1 person with a heal, it's going to reduce your cooldowns by 2 seconds. If you hit 5 people with a heal, it's going to reduce your cooldown by 2 seconds. The description was pretty vague. But we definitely want to reduce our cooldown by the 2 seconds. The 2 seconds is huge. We're going to go ahead and ult because we might go down here. We're getting a bunch of hits. We got the stun on the 2. We dash through both of them, get the slow, reduce our cooldowns. We're going to pop our heal, reduce our cooldowns. We're going to use our 3 as soon as we can. Going for the pick onto the Cthulhu. We're able to get the pick onto him. Now we're looking to retreat. I don't think we have the health or mana to take on this Tyr, and I think the enemy is going to be coming as well. We dodge the Tyr dash, but we get taken out by the Scotty. I felt like that Tyr was faster than me, and if I didn't step left and loop back around, I think he would have gotten me with his dash, which might not have been the worst thing, because he might have pushed me further away from Scotty. It's just I was in yellow health, looking pretty low. I didn't know how many abilities it was going to take Tyr to get me. So we went with the dodge method, and unfortunately Scotty was able to clean us up. I feel like we did great things in that team fight. I feel like our death did not tarnish our solo effort. After going into the Void Shield, we're going to be going into Genji's Guard. Genji's Guard is going to provide 150 health, 70 magical protections, 40 MP5, and 10% cooldown. The 40 MP5 is a pretty nutty stat. It means we really don't have to worry about getting our blue, because our mana is just going to regenerate that much. The 10% cooldown is going to put us at 20% once we complete Genji's Guard. Whenever we take magical damage, the cooldowns on our abilities are going to be reduced by 2 seconds. This effect can only happen once in a while. Forget the exact time. We have Tyr behind us, but we should be able to push this Cthulhu. We go ahead and use our ultimate. We're going to turn back around on Tyr because he uses his dash, or his ultimate. He uses his dash. So each time we're swinging our sword while we're ulting, we're stacking damage. We're dealing 25% more damage, or 20% more damage, not 25. And that final hit is going to just scale based on how many hits we've landed before it. Mercury was a little far up right there. There wasn't too much we could do. SeanyB is pushing left, so we're going to fall back into the left jungle. There's still a few objectives we can go for, and there's still a few towers. I don't think we necessarily need to be standing in middle, waiting for the enemy team to engage on us. We're going to make a rotation to the SeanyB, see if he needs any help. He does not. So we're going to go for Gold Fury. Scotty is on the SeanyB. We're going to see if there's anything we can do. We pop a shell on him. We're going to use our 3, get some good damage onto the Scotty. Cthulhu's going to zone for her, so we're going to fall back. We set up a ward so we know if they're coming from that direction towards Gold Fury. We're going to go ahead and start it between Scylla and myself. We should be able to get it. We also have enough money for Genji, so we are going to want to back pretty soon. Not the flashiest stat line. We're going to go ahead and teleport to the right tower, see if we can cut this tier off. Mercury's also making the rotation, so if we can clear the wave and get a little bit of poke, maybe even a little bit of CC onto him, we should be able to get this tier. We're going to go ahead and ult him. Get the stun. Mercury's fragging. Mercury's able to get the pick. So even though our stat line is not fantastic of 3, 2, and 16, we have 16 assists. Try to pick up the blue, but I'm wearing the enemy red.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
There is the 3rd cleave hit, and that 4th hit is that final strong hit. We are going to go ahead and push another wave, it looks like.
They were warned.
With nobody over here and us being a little under leveled for where we want to be 20 minutes into the game, we're just going to keep farming. Our red is about to expire, so we're going to go for their blue. So with Guan, just some kind of general combos. I feel like you want to dash through somebody, apply the slow, and then use your 3 to remove some protections. That's pretty much it. Throw on some auto attacks, maybe use your 3 before your 2. He has a pretty simple kit. It's really just a matter of kind of knowing your opponent, knowing what abilities you need to dodge, and when to actually engage on them. So for tier, for example, I may want to hold off onto my 3 until I feel like he's about to dash onto me. Once I feel like he's going to dash onto me, then I use my 3, I'm able to get some damage off and avoid his dash. We ult into the left lane thinking that we might be able to save a teammate. We were just a little too late. People rotating over. We're going to see if, I don't know, Scylla missed her cripple. Our job right here is just make sure that Scylla survives. Whether she wants to fight or whether we want to retreat, I don't really get to make that decision. My job is to just protect her. So we go ahead and pick up Genji's guard, and then after Genji's guard, we're going to pick up Prydwen. Prydwen is going to give us a shield equal to our protections. That shield is going to last for a little bit, and then it is either going to explode from it no longer having any shield health, or it's going to explode because it timed out. Once it explodes, it's going to deal 50% of the shell's initial maximum health, so 50% of your max protections. And it's going to apply a 25% slow for 3 seconds. So with Guan Yu, this is kind of an emergency item. If we feel like we're about to go down, we're going to ult, and that's going to give us a shield based on our protections. And then we're going to be CC immune riding around on a pony dealing damage. So if we want to engage on an enemy, by the time our ultimate ends, the Prydwen explosion should also be occurring. That's going to apply a 25% slow. We go ahead and dash through the SeanyB, still is able to get the pick. So if we're low, we use our ult, and then we have the option of engaging with a shield that's going to explode and apply a slow, or just full on retreating. Prydwen is also going to give us 30 magical protections, 30 physical protections, and 20% cooldown. So between Soul Eater, Genji's Guard, and Prydwen, we're going to have 40% cooldown. And whenever we use our 2 through enemies and use our 1 on allies, we're going to reduce our cooldown. So we are just going to be spamming abilities, and that's going to be the name of the game. Scotty's nearby, we're going to go ahead and ult. She would be a great pick to get. We get the stun. Still is able to clean it up. We're going to rotate right, see if we can get a pick onto this tier. He is out of position. He's on the blue corner, so he has no real safe way to run. He uses dash. Ymir gets a fat freeze on him. We're going to go ahead and pop our 1 for our teammates. Tier goes up and back down. We're going to immediately start looking for zone. We have a feeling our teammates are able to get the tier. Might have been a little optimistic, but they're able to actually get it. Cthulhu is in his ultimate, not concerned. We're trying to get in Merlin's face so Merlin can't use his abilities on our teammates. Merlin was able to get the pick onto the Mercury. Tsukiyomi's doing some good damage. I'm the only one up here, so I'm going to start running away. Didn't realize I was the only one up there. We have Xbalanque rotating in. Ymir gets a fat freeze. Tsukiyomi ults, hits me with one of them. We're going to go ahead and use our ultimate. Get a hit. Still is able to clean him up before we can even get our stun. Now it's just a Scotty alive. We should be able to push this right Phoenix. Xbalanque just says, "Judge!" and runs in there. Nice. Easy pick on the Phoenix. I think we have time for the Phoenix in mid, or at least that's the call that I make. Then Ymir and Xbalanque rotating over. It's just the 2 of us. This is not a great push. Xbalanque is able to fall back. Tier jumps in and was able to get us. So just a bad call from me. I thought maybe we could get the mid, but they had the Cthulhu and Tier about to respawn. I also walked into the Phoenix line, not waiting for my support or the Ymir. So I took some power shots that I didn't need to take. And then by the time I realized we weren't going to be able to get the middle Phoenix, I had already committed my health to those tower shots, so I was just in a bad position. I feel like it's just really subtle things that are putting me out of position, and they're getting picks on me for it. Scylla has 20 kills this game. Good stuff. So at this point in the game, we are kind of looking for objectives and trying to see if we can get them to engage with us while in the jungle, away from their Phoenix line. Mercury is able to solo the Gold Fury. Right now we just need one good team fight and we can close this game out. They, on the other hand, probably have to get a few towers. They still have to get a Phoenix. Even if they were to get our right Phoenix, there's 2 people in mid. Tyr uses his ultimate. Tsukiyomi and Merlin are both on this left side of the jungle, which means we should go and engage on the Ymir. The people from left jungle might be closing in on our Xbalanque. We're going to turn back around, try to make sure that nobody is flanking. We use our ultimate. Xbalanque is able to get the pick onto 1. We get the proc from Mantle of Discord from the Cthulhu, and Xbalanque is able to get the pick. Mercury uses the ultimate, gets the stun. We're going to dash in, go ahead and just tank this middle Phoenix. We already have minions on the Titan. We're going to go ahead and apply a heal. Not exactly sure why Scotty was hiding over there. We're going to turn our attention to the Scotty. Mercury's able to get the pick. And that is going to be the game. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you feel like you learned anything at all, check out the channel and subscribe for more content. These stats for this game will be posted in just a moment. It was really fun to play with a full group of 5 from the Discord server. If you want to join the Discord server, the link is in the comments down below. Not in the comments, in the description down below. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.